Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Numbers, the 5th chapter. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp every leper, and every one that hath an issue, and whosoever is defiled by the dead. So, as we know now, at least how the camps are arranged, okay, putting out the camp would mean that there would likely be some area, right, that was further away from the main camps, right, where everybody else was, where anybody that was a leper would have to stay, right, until they were cleansed, or if they had any discharge that would make them unclean, or if they were defiled by, as it says, the dead, having touched a dead body or been close enough to it to be defiled. Both male and female shall ye put out without the camp, shall ye put them, that they defile not their camps in the midst whereof I dwell. And the children of Israel did so, and put them out without the camp, as the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, so did the children of Israel. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, when a man or woman shall commit a sin that men commit, and do trespass against the Lord Yahweh, and that person be guilty. So if they commit some transgression or some sin, this is typically in the sense of, say, wronging, somebody else, then they shall confess their sin which they have done, and they shall recompense his trespass, or he shall recompense his trespass with the principal thereof. So this lets you know this is like dealing with more so a case where maybe you steal something from a man, or one of those things, right, where you were the cause of your neighbor's loss of something, like oxen, ass, whatever. Then, as it says, you're going to recompense it with the principal thereof, and add on to it the fifth part thereof, and give it unto him against whom he hath trespassed. So if it's an ox, you would give the recompense it, right, the principal, meaning the full amount of that ox, whether it's another ox in itself, and a fifth part, right, an additional 20% on top of that. But if the man have no kinsman to recompense the trespass onto, let the trespass be recompensed unto the Lord. So this is handling a case where you wronged somebody, and let's say by the time it was found out, and you're now about to recompense onto them, they're not alive anymore, and they don't have any close relatives or anybody where you can recompense or give this amount back to. Then this amount would go to the Lord, all right, as it says here, even to the priest, beside, right, not counting or in addition to the ram of the atonement, whereby an atonement shall be made for him, because the person who transgressed now needs to have an atonement made for them. And every offering of the holy things of the children of Israel, which they bring unto the priest, shall be his. So anything they come to offer unto the Lord, where it becomes holy, right, it becomes dedicated to the Lord, they would, when it's dedicated to the Lord, or it's holy unto the Lord, it becomes use for the priest. And every man's hallowed things shall be his. Whatsoever any man giveth the priest, it shall be his. Okay, so that's, and when you read this in another translation, it will let you know that basically these things, that as it says in the NLT, each priest may keep all the sacred donations that he receives. Okay, verse 11, and the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, that is, adultery, and a man lie carnally with her, or lie with her carnally, that is, to have sex with her, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, so it's secret and he doesn't know, and be kept close, i.e., it's kept secret, and she be defiled for having committed adultery, and there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the manner. So nobody saw it, nobody could bear witness against her. They didn't catch her in the act. That's what it means by take her with the manner. However, the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled. So maybe she's moving a certain way. He starts to become suspicious. He starts getting suspicions and whatnot. Then it says, or if the spirit of jealousy comes upon him, and indeed she has committed adultery, or if the spirit of jealousy comes upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled, right? Because maybe he suspected, or he just had that spirit, but his wife hadn't done anything. Regardless of the case, if the spirit of jealousy comes upon a man, then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. So this kind of offering is, when it says bringing iniquity to remembrance, meaning the thing that was done secretly is now being brought back up again. And that's what this ritual or this offering would be the use of. And the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Lord. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and um shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle the priest shall take. You're gonna grab some of that dust and put and put it into the water. And the priest shall set the woman before the Lord, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands. So that meal is going to be in her hand, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causeth the curse. And we're about to see what the curse is, or what it does. And the priest shall charge her by an oath. So he's going to put her under an oath, and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thine husband, meaning you haven't had sexual intercourse with another man, because sex makes you unclean, but you haven't had intercourse with another man aside from your husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse, meaning you will not incur the curse, or the penalty of this curse after undergoing this ritual, because you're innocent. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and and the priest shall say unto the woman, the Lord make thee a curse and an oath among thy people, when the Lord doth make thy right thigh to rot and thy belly to swell. So this would be the curse that will happen to you if you are indeed guilty. Now, when it says here, thy right thigh to rot, when you go into the word thigh, it's also used as a euphemism, right? Um, let's go into it and see here, because it's not talking about your actual thigh turning into like maggots or something, right? And rotting. All right, it says here, your rock. It says thigh, loins, of the seat of procreative power, right? And that's the euphemism, right? It says euphemistically, the generative parts. Okay, so that's why when you look at some of these other translations, you'll see they have it as more of the womb. Okay, so it says here in the NLT, at this point, the priest must put the woman under oath by saying, may the people know that the Lord's curse is upon you when he makes you infertile, causing your womb to shrivel and your abdomen to swell. So physically, the abdomen would swell, right? That would be the physical sign, but they would become infertile, right? They wouldn't be able to have children, and that would be the curse that would come upon them. That's what is meant by the thigh rotting. And the next verses below will confirm that, right? Because they'll show what is the inverse of this if they be innocent. And this water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels, and make thy belly to swell, and thy thigh to rot. And the woman shall say, Aman, Aman, or so let it be. So she would, this is the rite or the ritual of this law on the jealousy, all right, and how it would be performed. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and shall not blot them out with, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. What this means, it's a bit clearer in another translation, but what it means is he's gonna, where's it at? Yeah, he shall write these curses in a book, right? Or here, as it says in the NLT, on a piece of leather, and wash them off into the bitter water, right? Or scrape them off into the bitter water. So he's going to write the curse and then scrape it into the water. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causeth the curse, and the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand, and shall wave the offering before the Lord Yahweh, and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take an handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar, and afterward shall cause the woman to drink the water. Now here, she's only going to drink it once, okay? It's just not in full chronological order, but it's just listing what are the, what is what are the steps, right, of this ritual. But when it's all said and done, she drinks it once. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled, so if she has committed adultery, and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thigh shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. So everybody's going to know, yeah, she committed adultery and now she's infertile. She's barren. She can't have children, and look at her belly. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, so she's innocent, then she shall be free and shall conceive seed. Okay. So it's telling you, if she's innocent, she's not going to undergo the curse, meaning now she would be able to have children. She will be able to conceive seed. So she'll be fertile. And that's what lets you know what the curse is, that she would become infertile. Hence the thigh rotting. This is the law of jealousies, when a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband that is, or and is defiled. All right. So this law is there in the case that the man can't prove it, but he has a suspicion. This would be the way to handle that case. Or when the spirit of jealousies cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before the Lord Yahweh, and the priest shall execute upon her all this law. Then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity, right? Because then it's known, one, he didn't cause her to commit adultery, right? He wasn't the cause. He was innocent. He didn't know. But also, two, you wouldn't have cases where he just accuses his wife of committing adultery. You can't get to the bottom of it, and then maybe she's innocent, but then say because it's her man saying it, she's put to death, or whatever the case is, right? Those complications don't arise because it's handled in this matter. And that brings us to the end of the book of Numbers, the 5th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh. Until next time, Shalom.